4 things you need to do in sobriety to start living a fulfilled life in sustained sobriety. You need to forgive yourself, get over yourself, get into yourself, and get on with yourself. These are 4 things that you want to think about. We talk about forgiving yourself, right? Now, in many programs, in AA and many programs, they talk about making amends and talk about, reestablishing connections with people that you may have wronged in addiction, right? And making amends, so that you can get those relationships hopefully back intact and maybe, right some of the wrongs of the past. After you do all of that, right? And when you do all of that, you have to make sure that you forgive yourself. Because until you forgive yourself, right, you're not going to really be able to move on to the next level for yourself. You're going to be too stuck in the past. You're going to be too stuck on trying to correct things in the past instead of building a better future is with what you ultimately need to be doing. So make sure that you forgive yourself, okay? Because there's some people you may try and make amends with that will never forgive you. And if you sit there and stop your life trying to satisfy them when you may not be able to do it, maybe you've done the unforgivable in their eyes. Regardless, you need to forgive yourself, okay? Secondly, you need to get over yourself. And this goes out to the people who, like I've talked to people who, they say they want a life of sobriety and they want to make the change, but they've got a million excuses. They talk about all the struggles, right? And they have no problem talking about all of their struggles as if nobody else in the world has struggles. This is not to minimize your personal struggle, but in order to move on to solving the problems of the past, in order to relegate towards a better future, you got to start talking solutions. You have to, because a lot of times what people do is they'll they have no problem talking about the problem because that doesn't require any action outside of running their mouth, right? Now, once you start talking about solutions, well, now you got to possibly commit to doing something. And yes, at some point, sobriety, it's an activity. You say it's just not drinking, but that's an activity for an alcoholic. That is definitely a verb. It's an action word, okay? If it didn't require any action, then I guess there'd be no alcoholics on earth because we could just exist, just flick our addiction on and off like a light switch. It doesn't work that way, right? But we have to get over ourselves. Our problems aren't special. They're special to us. They're unique, but they're not special. They're not unsolvable. There's 7 billion people that exist on this planet and billions of people that have died before then. I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that has gotten over obstacles that were harder than yours, equal as yours, less than yours. So that means you can graduate yourself to going towards a solution. Okay? I'm not the one that's going to be, patting you on the back and kissing your wounds all day. At some point, you have to either try and fail or try again until you win. But that's where you need to be. And getting over yourself is going to help you do that. Next, you got to get into yourself. Focus on yourself, focusing on your sobriety, focusing on your new purpose, because you're going to need to fill the void that your addiction leaves once you are done with it. Okay? You need to get into yourself spiritually, physically, mentally, going to therapy, going to groups, connecting with other people, connecting with yourself. Meditating, praying, whatever it takes for you to get in touch with yourself to seek out the true you and start building the new you in sobriety, which really is the original you before the addiction got a hold of you. All right. Then you got to get on with yourself. And that's just, another way of saying pushing towards the future, being future focused, being focused into today and what's going to go on tomorrow. You've done what you can to make amends, right? Now you move on. You get into yourself. You've gotten over, you've dealt with dealing with the problem, right? Identifying it and identifying some solutions, right? And now it's time to get on with pursuing those solutions in that order, all right? Forgive yourself, get over yourself, get into yourself, then get on with yourself. get on to becoming the best version of you now. All right. And I want to wish you the best in that journey. All right. I hope this pours into you. I hope it just gives you something to think about. And until next time, peace.